recently he did
Your post, yeah, because I saw him in there.
trying to get a third arbitrator back in.
Okay.
You know, we had
About
one on
7
the
o'clock.
side who said, yeah, you can do it.
And he was in there.
Because he
And I
represented.
made sure we sat
Like
on the
to
other
call our
side.
meeting, general committee meeting to order, please. Meeting is July the 7th, 2022 at 4:30 in the afternoon. All are present, all committee members are present. Director Roth is here. On to our agenda. Acceptance of the agenda.
A second.
It's unanimous vote. Approval of the minutes for May 10th, 2022.
So moved.
Unanimous vote. Approval of the minutes for June 14th, 2022.
Okay, so moved.
Hayes, Mr. Waters. So. Unanimous vote. Approval of June 28th minutes.
Somebody strong. Somebody strong. Is reading.
Lee Peterson, you look good.
Well, mine's off.
That's it.
Sorry about your car.
Let it be noted that Mr. Waters was guilty. Okay. Ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance 2022-17, ordinance establishing meeting times of the Board of Mayor and Alderman in certain even number of years. Jesse, you want to explain that? I mean, I'll explain it. I'll explain it better than I-
Yeah, it's just in an effort to go ahead and account for when the election day has a conflict with the BOMA meeting. So it's go ahead and planning to move the BOMA meetings back so that there's no conflict with.
I think we're moving it to Thursday on those particular times.
And then it moves it makes it the last Tuesday of the month. So there's more than 2 weeks between meetings.
Just polls don't close to 7, general committees at 6 normally, and moment starts at 7 o'clock. So it's just kind of a
Pre-planning.
clean it up thing. So I move that we pass it. Mr. Waters is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Ordinance amending 2022-18, ordinance amending the Hendersonville Municipal Code, Title 14, Chapter 1, Municipal Planning Commission, and Title 14, Chapter 2, zoning ordinance.
So moved.
Mr. Waters. Second. Mr. Green, do you want to address anything in here?
Basically, this is just the cleanup for when we became a municipal planning commission versus regional planning commission. It took care of a lot of the items that changed with the both the state law and the just the references to the regional planning commission, changing those to municipal.
Derek and Ross, you want to add anything to that?
A lot of it's just dictated by state law. So it's just a cleanup.
Yeah.
Following state law.
I move approval. Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution 2022-33, resolution authorizing approve Hendersonville to use a variation of the city's logo on Tennessee license plates. Mayor's not here. This is his. But the recommendation is for Bowman to be asked to allow variation of the city logo to be used on a license plate that will be produced by the state of Tennessee to benefit of a local nonprofit organization. Yeah. Background on that is approved as a Hendersonville local nonprofit organization that operates the SMORE program in Hendersonville. It's a 501c3 organization registered with the IRS, state of Tennessee. Purchasing one of these license plates, if you went up there and purchased it, it's like there's other ones that have stuff on it too. They would give, I don't know how much money they would give back to improve, but percentage or not. My only concern, it's not costing the city any money. It's the consumer. Is that correct? What I
No.
understand.
No funds.
That's my understanding.
Yeah. I think the only question that would be there is, this is one nonprofit in the city. There's several nonprofits in the city who request that, and so I don't know. I don't know exactly what a variation of the city logo is. Does anybody have a copy of that?
I don't. I think the concern was that the full city logo wasn't very good
Wouldn't
fit for the rectangular shape. So it was going to be maybe an alteration of, but closely resembling the city logo.
Explain number 3.
You know, this is something that Jamie has worked out. I guess what it's saying here is that if they're able to get some funds through selling these license plates, they're probably not going to come to the city to ask for any funds for the next 3 years. I don't know that they do now, but that appears to be what number 3 is talking about, Mr. Waters.
They haven't to this point that I'm aware of.
No, I don't, they're not part of the nonprofit.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of that.
Well, I think it'd be great to move it forward to Boma.
Mhm.
So I would move approval.
Written recommendation.
Sure.
Or just-
Chairman, can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Why not, instead of, focusing on one nonprofit, just put it in the pot for all of the nonprofits in Hendersonville? And then it would help contribute money to all of them. That's lessening the burden on the city. 'Cause, like you said, there's so many nonprofits.
Yeah.
I can imagine others are gonna come forward and go, hey, how come we weren't approached?
Yeah, I would agree with that. The only thing I would like to see at this point is what does that look like?
Yeah.
Is that the goose with improved 100 or, but I think we could get that for the time this goes to the board. So, and I think that would be a good amendment possibly to offer. I don't know that I necessarily like the part that would hinder them from asking for funds for 3 years. I wouldn't think that they would make several $1,000s off those plates, but I might be wrong. I think they should still have the opportunity to ask for funding. So we move to the board with approval for discussion there. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution 2022-35, a resolution amending the job classification list of pay tables. Gallo, would you like to address that, sir?
Sure.
It falls under your purview.
It does. So this just is per our municipal code that every year a list of the openings and positions we have across the city, as well as their pay grades, has to be approved by resolution through BOMA. So this is list from all the employees as well as positions that we may want to use down the road. As an example, in IT, we created the network technician, but left the help desk
Mhm.
for future help. So
So throughout the year, we've done some reclassifications. And so this kind of combines all those reclassifications we've done throughout the year. And it puts it all together in one document. It lists who's exempt, what grade they are. Kind of a cleanup for us. So there's nothing new. All these positions were approved through the budget, so there's no additional money. It's just the actual technical classification list that we'll be using for the year.
All in favor of resolution 2022-35, say aye.
Ah,
Any opposed?
No.
Passes unanimous.
Good motion, second that.
Almost, we don't remember that when it comes time to approve the minutes. By the way, I did not see Tina Lee walk in the room. Happy birthday.
she's selling books. She don't talk to us.
Yeah. Okay, now we have ordinance 2022-19, an ordinance relative to term limits for the members of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. This is the exact same ordinance that was up 2 weeks ago and 4 weeks ago now, I think, except it is, the change in it is 2 consecutive terms instead of 3 consecutive terms. I'm one of the sponsors on that, so I'll move it to the floor to be approved.
I'll second it.
Mr. Hayes. I would give a little bit of discussion on it and then some of the other sponsors. I think all the other sponsors are here.
Yeah, I like to hear them.
I think everybody in this room probably has heard me talk about term limits over the past few years and know where I've stood at it and whatever. But I think probably the last year or so, since it's come back to the table, we've had pretty hearty, healthy, long discussions about putting it on the ballot for referendum, 3 terms, 2 terms. There's passion on both sides of that, but I think the key is trying to get it on the ballot if we can for referendum. If we can move it to the board in 2 weeks and passes there and moves to the next meeting in August, Ms. Ashley has time to get it on as a referendum. So I had that discussion with her today to make sure that was exactly true. So it is. Going back and talking about 2 terms and 3 terms. Obviously, some of us believe that 2 terms is enough. Some of them believe it's 3 terms. The only thing I will say, it's all been said in the meeting a couple of weeks ago, is I have continued to poll people that I come in contact with. And the majority of people want to see term limits. They do. Some don't, but I would say probably 80% would like to see term limits. And out of that 80%, most of them said 2 terms. And I just said, how many terms you think that ought to be? And 2 was the first one out of the mouth in most cases. I think a couple people said 4.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Let's see if there's any more of the sponsors want to speak first.
I'd like to speak for what they do.
Okay, go ahead.
This is going to be a heated argument, a discussion, whatever you want to call it. I don't think this is a place for us to do it. I think it should go before BOMA. Let's talk about it then, because I've got a lot to say. I'm sure the sponsors have a lot to say. I'm sure you've already said something. I don't want to waste y'all's time just sitting here talking. It's going to BOMA anyway. So, Mr. Chairman, I move to send it on to BOMA without a recommendation. That's my motion.
Second.
No, I kind of want to hear what we have guests here. I know they want to hear.
You want them to hear tonight rather than BOMA?
Well, it would be okay if I'd at least like the alderman to weigh in.
No, you want the sponsors.
Well, also, I see.
I'll let anybody in the room weigh in if they want to. I know this wall over here.
That's my motion.
Received emails and stuff from them, so, and Beth's here. So I don't have a problem. I don't want to be here all night, but you know, that's the reason we moved to 4:30, so we could get employees home instead of moving at 6. Praise.
Mr. Waters, I appreciate what you said. Actually, I have to disagree with Jonathan and say that I think that you're right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll second it.
Thank you.
Okay,
So move.
all in favor, move it to BOMA. Water. Mr. Hayes,
Second.
Yeah.
I mean, amen.
yay or nay, yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, let's move it on.
Yes.
Move it on.
Thank you. Make a motion to adjourn.
Hmm?
Do you want somebody? That it? Make a motion to adjourn? I do that.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
We are adjourned.